Rosemary, great to talk to you this evening. Now, a bit daunting, you were named as the 16th most powerful woman in the country by Woman's Hour. How do you take that?
Well, my son said I was robbed, actually, because the Queen was number one, of course, and she's born to it, whereas the rest of us have had to climb our ways or up the greasy pole. No, it was a great recognition, I think, for our company, frankly, that we have over 6 million households on our database, and I think it's a very powerful thing to be able to communicate with about a quarter of the population in the UK.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And how do you stand on women and glass ceilings in terms of progression?
I think there still is a glass ceiling. I think when you look around, I spend my time working with financial institutions, with banks, in private equity, and there are very, very few women. I can think of one that I have worked with in all the time that I've been in private equity. And I think in certain areas of business there's a huge glass ceiling.
So what do we need to do to sort that?
Well, as I spend my time in boardrooms, I think it has to change at the top with the constitution of boards, and I'm afraid, having spent years and years thinking it will all change because, merit, there are brilliantly educated women who've got lots of great experience, and it's all going to change. It doesn't. And the truth is, and I do it myself, most of us want to employ or hire or feel comfortable with people who are like ourselves. So I think you often find a lot of particular type of person hiring the same, and it just replicates itself time after time after time. And I think the whole chemistry in a boardroom is very different when there's a diverse mix.
So do you employ quite a lot of women?
We do. I've positively tried to encourage women, and it's very difficult. I've got 3 kids myself. One of them's disabled, and how you juggle working with a family life, and I want a family life, of course I do, and I think most people do as well, not all, but most, and it is a juggle, and I think you have to have flexible working practices. We've encouraged job sharing, working from home, part-time working, wherever we can, and it's not always easy, but wherever we can, we've done our best to accommodate women.
Now, you're a Nottingham girl. Tell us about how you got into the high world of theatre management.
Well, through Nottingham, actually. The Nottingham Playhouse, when I was growing up, when I was a kid there, was run by Richard Eyre, now Sir Richard, who ran the National Theatre, and it was just a fantastic place. I think one of the reasons I'm so committed to regional theatre and the regional arts in the UK is because I am a Nottingham girl. I'm not from London, and I was really fortunate to have brilliant theatre on my doorstep as I grew up.
Now, theatre, do you run what might be called popular theatre? Because, a lot of people are quite critical of what you might refer to as sort of unnecessary frippery in regional theatre. Tell me what is the theatre that you want to encourage in the provinces, like here in Bristol?
I think many of the regional theatres that we run are large, therefore whatever we put on the stage has got to be broad-based. It's got to have a broad appeal. A theatre like the Bristol Hippodrome, if you're rattling around with 300 people in the auditorium, it feels empty, and it's not a great experience for you or the performers or anybody. So, I do apologise, I've got a terrible cold, so apologies for that. It's broad-based, but that doesn't mean to say broad-based has got to be bad or somehow is poor in quality. I think we would, if you think of ourselves a bit like Crufts, the dog show, what we aspire to do is to be best in breed. We want the best retriever, we want the best dachshund, we want the best Great Dane. And so whether it's Lion King in the Great Dane category, or Tonight's the Night, which is a fun musical about Rod Stewart, or whether it's a play called The Pride, which I was very proud we toured just recently, played 3 regional theatres, small piece that had played Trafalgar Studios in London, and it toured those theatres to great acclaim, and I was really proud we did that.